we're just gonna go into it right away. So, spawning in the left-hand side with a very large advantage given the race that he has picked, it is TaToH with the French. At the right-hand side of the map, playing the Abbasid dynasty for a second time, it did not work for him against the Chinese. It is Kasva. Apparently this has to be his second best civ. I have no idea how else he might have planned for this. Maybe he has never planned, maybe he didn't know of the rule. That's the problem maybe for him. Maybe he just didn't know of the rule that you need to have more than one civ ready. He just played the French. He won with the French and that was basically the end of it, right? That would be so funny, man. And this map, I'm just gonna check out the name. European, so it's high view actually. It's a very peculiar map, open one. You have no way to wall, which Abbasid would like to do probably, right? That was the reason why they picked Abbasid and Chinese on the previous map. Because they had like very decent standing there. But here, like he's just kind of going to get rammed by the French, I feel. Or lanced, whatever else the French like to do with their knights. So we have a decent 7 villagers here on the food. Let's just check. And 2 on gold for TaToH. Kasva is kind of slow to the punch with the gold villagers, because actually he's just going to be building that mining camp right now. He's going to go for it. We have 100 wood for our Abbasid player. I'm wondering what he's gonna do with this. I don't think he can ever wall this. Basically, this is the worst possible map to be playing against the French. It seems like he had the map pick. Like it looks like TaToH had the map pick. He just kind of went for the easiest possible victory he can imagine. Let's face it. You have like knights who can circle you from every single direction. You have trees where you can hide. There is just so much open space on this map. It's terrible against the French. It's probably the worst map ever to play against the French in. Like, I cannot imagine winning this. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure on TaToH as well, so he might just make a few mistakes, so that's what you're hoping for. But French on those kind of open land maps, they're just super, super good, man. Like, you can get a lot of harassment. You just have to be super on point if you're Kasva, if you want to kind of manage your chances of getting out of the group, to be honest. So that's basically the idea here. You can see that Kasva is going to have a very tough nut to crack coming into this particular game. He has to really just play against all the odds. Kasva is also going to go up right now. He has the House of Wisdom. She's going to click up as soon as the villagers drop the last bit of gold. Indeed, he does. He keeps those villagers on it. Like he does need like 125 gold to go. That's why, I guess, like, because you want to get that extra bonus to producing villagers for less. School of Cavalry dropped as we speak by our French player, by TaToH. And this looks like a decent situation for TaToH, to be honest. I don't know what he's gonna do. I have no idea what the Abbasid can do. Like, if I were him, if I had like some cheese stored for this particular moment in time, I would just do this, close my eyes and hope for the best. Like, especially that he's kind of, no, it's actually a decent position for the School of Cavalry. It's not in the, outside of the range of the TC. But I'd really like to see some cheese. I'm not sure like how Abbasid can cheese, by the way, but that's gonna kind of turn out. The nice thing about the Abbasid, though, is the fact that they do have the anti-cavalry unit, so they have the camels. Camels do actually have the aura that lowers the damage of the horses, because apparently horses are really scared of the camels indeed. So that's the real life fact. Like, horses are really afraid of camels, and therefore in the game it's reflected by the horsemen just kind of dealing 20% less damage when there are camels around. Also, camels do a lot of extra damage to those horses, so it's kind of okay. The problem is, obviously, you need to get to Castle Age to do this, and it's not going to be easy against the French. Obviously, you can probably try to expand nicely, but I would really like to see this, like, one-off game where you just go for, like, full wall-off on this open map even, because you cannot just expect to react fast enough. Like, those guys have been playing the game for too short to have reaction speeds required to play against the French properly, I think. So I would expect, like, I'd love to see, like, just kind of sacrifice some of your early eco, just go out of your way to wall the hell out of this map. Like, this, I don't know how else you can win. Like, just get palisades around here, just palisade all this, just don't lose your freaking economy this way. Go 1 TC into castle and maybe try to win like this. I have no idea how else you can win this matchup. From what I've seen so far, right? Because it might be that Kasva has some mysterious way of kind of dominating his opponent, but honestly, from the start we've seen a lot of very good players, basically having the caliber of Kasva really falter against the French, even playing French themselves. So what I would like to see here actually is some sort of a defense with the walls. Obviously, you can basically deflect this by using archers or spearmen to burn them, or just kind of kill the villagers who are repairing. But still, I don't know what else we can do. Like, because spears and archers, they're not bad units. Don't get me wrong, right? They're not going to be enough. Right, the archery range and the barracks are not going to be enough to hold off the archers and cav, which is inevitably coming from our French player. It's going to be scouted as well, so he knows what he's up to right now. I mean, Kasva knows what his opponent's up to, so it's going to be archers and knights. And he really needs to kind of prepare for this attack. I don't know how he's going to do this, but he does need to... Oh, that's a nice pick. He picks up the scout. That's a very good kill for Kasva, actually, just giving him some sort of a glimmer of hope into this really dark matchup overall. So we shall see how exactly this pans out, though. Because... honestly, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how exactly this is a winnable spot for Kasva still. He doesn't go for a greedy build. Like, there's no point going for stone, I guess, as we've kind of noticed, right? Kind of French do punish the ALE stone very, very well. And we can see also there is no stone being picked up by... that's probably what was scouted as well. There's no stone being taken. So this basically means that there is going to be... we're trying to say here. Yeah, there's not going to be a second TC. And this map doesn't really support much, because let's face it, there are very scarce resources here. There are like very few small gold deposits, like there are two larger here. So if this game goes, it's actually benefit to TaToH, because he has access to those 2 gold deposits over here at the bottom. There are relics distributed over here and here, and there is a sacred site in the middle. So it's a very early game oriented map, and French actually have very strong early games. So the question is like, whether this can be handled or no. We're getting double archery ranges, so this is a nice response from our Abbasid player actually. So 2 ranges should be able to maybe support your units well enough to handle both the archers and the cavalry. We shall see how it works. Obviously, those knights not armored well enough yet. They don't have the chivalry either, I think. So it's kind of going to be a very slow opening for the French. I would have expected more knights. Oh, there's one actually wrapping around the corner over here. So you might see TaToH actually just go for a little bit of aggression here, coming with that knight. And those 3 archers are caught out. Apparently, like, there's a pickoff as well. I think that one of the knights has died. And the other one's actually just trailing in towards those spears, which is not great for TaToH, of course. Because losing... No, has he lost a knight? Yeah, I think he must have like 2 knights on the map. So this knight is going to get demolished if he gets into the melee with those spears. So that's very good. Keeping the French at bay actually is... It's surprising how good this game is going. The early game, maybe TaToH is just not good with French, man. That would suck. Like, this is this looks to be the strongest civilization in the game right now. And TaToH just doesn't seem to have an idea as to how to play this, because he has like this idle knight over here. I'm not questioning his ability to play the game overall, because he's a great player for sure, but he has a knight idling here. He has another knight here. He probably lost one. He's gonna get chivalry. He's not harassing at all. Admittedly, there are not many openings that Kasva is giving him, right? So he is going to guard all his resources. He's going to get a decent army. He's going to probably try to go for fast castle. I don't know, actually. I have no idea what he's doing, because the idea here is that if you stay in feudal, it favors the French quite a bit, because French are just going to overwhelm you with the knights eventually. They're just going to be kind of too annoying to actually deal with. And if you just go to freaking castle, you can have like all those marvelous units that your civilization has to offer, and that's what I would expect. So we have a scout, by the way. It's very, very nice from Kasva. He has like he has this, what, 6th sense, you can say, right? He has the eyes at the back of his head, so he's just gonna scout those knights. He knows when where they're coming from, and that they are coming at all. And this is going to be a very nice attack onto them right now. So you see there's an archer attacking here, and they just run head on into those spears and archers. So no success found by those knights so far. One knight is actually gonna wrap around, maybe trying to hit those berries at the back of the base of Kasva. We have those knights actually completely repelled, so they're not gonna do anything here yet. And honestly, there's a good military for our Abbasid player. He's keeping a healthy amount of units on the map. His eco is quite good, 34 villagers without second TC to 39, simply because the French have a little bit more villager production. It's quite important to know that. None of the players still going for stone. I think if you are playing Abbasid, if you have this recharge, like you can probably just risk at this point. You can just go and get some of those units to the stone. And Kasva is like airtight defense. That's very good, by the way. Look at this. He's basically defending every single point on the map. He's super spot on with the defenses, actually. He's handling the situation extremely well. And yeah, it's looking like a very nice game, actually. I was kind of doubting him, honestly, but he's getting a lot done with those Abbasids. And TaToH does kind of suck with French. You have to say that he's not really doing the best job of this. And now we have basically two options, right? You can try to kind of commit to the feudal play that doesn't work, and this kind of weak feudal play because you don't even have a TC number 2. Or I'd kind of expect them to do is just kind of, you know, since this game has kind of settled down a little bit, just go for the second TC, try to get decent economy, and just maybe go to castle, right? That's what I would like them to do. Though the reality is that you really have no idea what those guys are planning in terms of this game moving forward. Blacksmith dropped obviously allows you to get the iron undermesh, maybe even the fitted leatherwork to get those knights some extra armor, which they do so desperately need against the spears. Just reducing any sort of damage is already just quite a big deal. They're very healthy units, but you know, they take like a few spear pokes and they just die. So that's something you should be aware of. Like 16 damage cavalry, 8 base, it's like very, very large amount of kind of HP damage that's going to happen. By the way, he's completely oblivious. So TaToH is completely oblivious of the fact, was at least until this hit, that there is a huge attack coming in right now with from the Abbasid. Now the problem is that also there are nice counter attack on their side. They're going to kill a few villagers, but this is going to be a successful push. He's going to remove the possibility for TaToH to actually use those hunts for a while. Though there are like lots of losses. Like I think you lost like 3 villagers on the side of Kasva over here. And there are spearmen actually hidden in the ram. Very clever, so he's gonna have those spearmen in the ram. And you have equal archer numbers, 19 to 23, so it's kind of equal. They're gonna be trading quite well. You see that they're actually focusing fire here, so it's actually going to benefit. Like whoever has the better focus fire has a better micro to some extent. Those archers can actually get into the ram right. I would just like them to get into the ram and run away. I have no idea why they're not doing this, because ram is just gonna give you basically immunity to damage. So the ram is actually just going to slowly drive away. That was not a good trade for Kasva at all. I'm very surprised that he's actually going to go out on the map against the French, because this basically allows the French to push. And this might have been like basically the straw that broke the camel's back already. I'm surprised by this, but he's actually lost a lot of units in this exchange. There's no blacksmith. Oh, there is a blacksmith actually, and the our damage is actually getting upgraded. 6 hour damage is going to penetrate those defenses of the knights a little bit better. But frankly, it's not looking that great for Kasva. Obviously, he's producing a lot of units. He has the defender's advantage, so he can spam out a lot of those spears and archers. But the problem is, like, he really needs to first of all focus the. Oh, he's actually handling this quite well. So he has been able to kill a lot of those knights off. Now he's getting the archers in the menu. You have 6 left, and there's way more on the side of Kasva. So Kasva does repel the attack, and the game continues. So yeah, it was just, I think, very well timed upgrade for that ranged attack on the archers that did decide a lot about this game. There's a useless siege engineering being researched by the way, because you cannot do anything against the Abbasid like with siege engineering right now. Like, what do? Like, you push with rams? Like, what does it accomplish, right? So I'm not sure this is a good idea. You can just research some more useful stuff, like for instance fitted leatherwork, because your knights are just getting demolished or rammed by the spears. It would kind of make the ramming a little bit slower, to some extent at least, so I'm not sure. So you can see those archers kind of trying to wrap around the Kasva's defenses, and they're trying to look for some engagements as they go. On the other side we have 12 villagers, just trying to harvest some berries, I guess. So chilling over here. It's a lot, because basically just any attack will mean that these guys will have to, only 5 of them get to the place on the Holy Ark, and the rest of them are just going to drop dead. 2 weird mills being placed here. I'm not sure about this. Like, is he just going to? Okay, I don't know. I'm just not going to interpret that even. I have no clue why he's doing this. I guess maybe this was supposed to be like a mill and a tower or something. I have no clue. with this many villas, it's gonna have to be 2 towers, by the way, not 1. So it's a big question. We have that's interesting. So we see the siege ram. So TaToH is actually going on the offensive and doing this very creatively. So he goes to the back of the base where Abbasid are harvesting the berries. He's gonna go with the ram first, and then he's gonna follow the archers. So what this means is basically he's just going to assault this tower, and he's going to get a nice advantage. This vill is dead. This vill is also dead. 2 villagers killed instantaneously, and this ram is going to eventually allow the French to just kill the tower and handle those villagers too. Though we can see that there's some sort of defense kind of mastered up by the Abbasid. They come in, they're going to keep defending here right now, and that's basically deflected once again. 2 villagers killed. I'm not gonna say it's not a big deal because it is a big deal, but it's fine. He's gonna survive this. Though obviously getting behind the vill count against the French is not the best idea in the world. 53 eco, 37 military for TaToH, and 45 and 47 for Kasva respectively. I'm surprised, because he's actually doing quite well with the economy, and with eco damage that, knights usually inflict. But I also have to say, he has 500 wood if he were to just build a freaking palisade against his base. All this kind of little pokes and poking and prodding from those units would just be completely removed right from contention. Those archers are faster than vills, but he decides against actually using them to kill the second one, and he just kind of wraps around and leaves. Now the Abbasid actually have a very solid army of infantry right now. We have lots of archers, we have 2 rams. This is a very decent feudal army, right? We have actually a very small spear count though. Like, I'm surprised there's just so few. Oh, there are 6 also over here, and you have a second tower being built so that there is like some sort of defenses ready. As I said, we have 3 towers, actually not 2, 3 towers being built over here. So Kasva is going to be ready to repel or just kind of hide his villagers as the attacks happen. We have 1 villager killed so far, I think. 2, 3. Not bad. That's actually a very decent advantage towards TaToH. And we are going to go with those Abbasid units throughout the map, just across, and we're just going to go for a siege. So apparently some villagers are going to die straight away. 2 villagers sniped by the archers, and the spears get into the siege rams, which means that they're safe from the archers until the cavalry comes. The cavalry that was actually attacking over here, 3 knights, they're probably just going to die at this point. Like, he's not pulling them out on time. Okay, 1 knight is dead, and these guys, they're just going to demolish this. Look at this, they kill a lot of villagers, they kill... Oh my god, like, Kasva is winning this, isn't he? Kasva has like 59 military to 40? Man, this is such a huge army. Obviously there are some archers here, but like, how do you handle this if you are TaToH at this point? Okay, there are knights actually in the wood line, so that's very good for TaToH. He's actually doing some econ damage, but this is going to be repaid in kind by Kasva, honestly. So Kasva is actually getting a decent push into this, and you can see there's like obviously a lot of spears over here, and those knights are eventually gonna get cleaned up, right? I guess, or they're just going to... No, they're not gonna die so easily. But truth be told, TaToH does go for castle, so he's actually kind of okay here. That's why he doesn't have that much military, I guess, because those, it's expensive to age up, right? It's really expensive to age up. The problem is though, like, we are putting Kasva on a timer of this, right? So Kasva really needs to kind of get a decent army. He needs to get across the board. He needs to end the game before his opponent gets to those elite, so to those veteran upgrades on the archers, especially, right? Because this means they will be trading like way better than Kasva's archers can, and this will be a very, very large advantage. Not only is he getting the upgrade to the archers, but however, he's also getting the wedge rivets, which is going to be a very decent upgrade towards the armor of these archers as well. So he's getting a very nice potential set of trades as he moves forward. However, losing production is never good, right? So the question is like, oh, if he knew this, man, if he knew that this was going to happen, can he actually get this on time? Come on. Oh, he denies the elite archers. Oh, I mean the veteran archers. That's huge. That's really huge for... Oh, that's so big. I'm pretty sure he didn't know this, but this was the archer range that was researching the veteran upgrade. So the veteran upgrade has to wait. So it's only the blacksmith upgrade now that he has the that gives him the advantage, but there are no veteran archers. And honestly, there are so many archers for Kasva. Is he gonna take this game just with those basic bitch infantry from feudal age? Looks like that he is actually taking over this completely. So Kasva is switching. So TaToH 47 military, 25 military, so 47 villas. 50 eco for Kasva. He has 56 military, like basically twice the amount for TaToH. And that's a very annoying push that looked like just kind of a little bit of poking and prodding, but it ends up, I think, taking Kasva to the big W. This TC is just not going to be long for this well, let's face it. There are some archers here, like I think TaToH is just trying to scramble what he can, but he's going to lose his main TC, like that's not good for you. Like if you ask anybody who plays AoE4, like losing TC good? No. And this is dead, right? This TC is dead. Those archers are going to massacre those veteran archers of TaToH, because TaToH was eventually able to get the upgrade through this particular building here. But Kasva is just demolishing all the infrastructure here. Like Kasva can actually afford to maybe even save up some gold and wood and just go to Castle Age himself, because he has such a nice position over here. He's gonna go for a trade because he has like so much more that he doesn't care that those are veteran archers. You know, it's like 8 attack, 2 armor to 8 attack, 1 armor, because I don't know how this is possible. No, 6 attacks, so it's 2 attack advantage actually. And there's actually a mangonel here, that's the big problem, right? Because as the artillery starts streaming in, that is where the trouble starts for those feudal units to fight against that artillery. So if you can actually just kind of hold it off, you at least get to hope for the later game, right? That's the problem. I don't think if Kasva doesn't want to overcome it to this, does he? Kasva really does want. I would just back off. Like he's being super greedy here. I think he's just being way too greedy because obviously he has an advantage in this game right now. He has way more units. Not anymore. Actually, 19 military that melted. Like this single mangonel did actually completely melt TaToH's. Kasva's army. Right? You have a mango. It's actually a push right now. So the problem for TaToH is he's 18 idle villagers. So he's not been getting any resources at all. And Kasva is actually still able to master up those units here, and he's probably just going to be able to repel the attackers. Especially the mango is very slow, so by the time it moves to Kasva's position, I think it's going to be still a nice opening, I guess, for Kasva to just produce more units. You really have to deal with the mango, though. It's such a scary unit. One mango probably second being produced somewhere. Yeah, there's going to be second mango actually coming from TaToH. And those units are going through the map towards TaToH, so towards Kasva's base. The question is, like, right now for Kasva, is he gonna be able to actually repel that? He actually is very confident. He's going around, so instead of actually just going for a defensive play, he's just gonna go towards the offense here. And Kasva has a very small bank right now. There's no way he's going to get to the Castle Age anytime soon. He's going to have to come into feudal, I guess. But if he can get enough damage done over here, this wood line, I think he's just going to be able to eke out another nice lead. The problem for him, though, is there is a mangonel, there's second mangonel coming as well, I think. There are knights streaming in, and there is a siege ram and archers. There's a very nasty army. And honestly, I don't know, he walks up and decides against committing to this. So, well, this is grim. Because honestly, right now, Kasva had a very nice, up until now, he had a very nice standing in this game. He's building a lot of stables, so he's gonna get some horsemen as well. You know, those early horsemen, like, they're pretty decent, actually. They're going to deal with those units. Those are just basically, you know, you see archers, knights, and rams. I think that's basically quite an okay position to be in. If you're Kasva right now, you can just kind of get a nice flank, but he needs his entire army here, and he really needs to just crush this engagement. We have 44 eco for TaToH, by the way, to 60 of Kasva. So every single second that passes is going to propel Kasva towards victory. Like, basically, it's just so much economy that if he can just save this, he can salvage the situation, he's just going to win with those units. So he's charging. This is very weird because he charges with those horse. Okay, that's what he wanted to. He just wanted to kill off those mangoes, and he now is going to attack. He's going to commit to the offense. And the second mango is actually nowhere to be seen. So this is all she wrote. And TaToH is gonna get crushed here. I think he's just going to get again like kind of. At least he's gonna be behind the curve a little bit. So we see those villagers. Now those are archers actually attacking the rams. The rams are just gonna burn and crash, and those archers of Kasva are just going to probably dispose at some point of the archers of TaToH. Though obviously the trading favorably is not really on the cards because they are very far behind on tech. Though Kasva is still, you know, Kasva has been producing units. He's been producing villagers all the time for this game. And TaToH, he's building farms right now, but this is a dire situation. This is a very interesting game, actually, coming from the Abbasid player. I'm very curious as to how it's going to go from here. Because, frankly, you have a lot of food that he's spending every single bit of it, right? He has a lot of food to be to use, but he's spending so much of it that I'm not really sure. Oh, that's a good attack. If he can actually see this, if he can spot those villagers, he's gonna kill a lot of them instantaneously. He has to focus the vills, he cannot be focusing the tower, he has to focus the vills. That's a very bad, that was very bad micro from Kasva. Because he would have really killed like 6-7 villagers, he only got 2 or 3 here. So that's really poor. Yeah, he gets 2, and obviously those archers of Kasva are going to take over. The nice bit for him is actually that he's able to also send a few units towards the base of the French. So he's also channeling his units over here. He has a lot of production, honestly, because he has a lot of villagers. And this feudal army, though it doesn't look that strong, it might be actually able to handle TaToH's units quite well. So you have those archers over here, just kind of moving across the map. We have 66 economy, right? It's crazy big, to 45 of the French. And you have this very large engagement happening right now. You have lots of horsemen, and Kasva confidently moving in, actually taking this engagement. Against the Mangonel, however, that's going to be the big pain point. We have horsemen, so the horsemen are being pulled, however, so they're just going to be able to at least maybe distract this Mango a little bit until Kasva can, you know, somehow manage the situation. And yeah, it's just kind of an attack repelled again. I'm surprised that Kasva is just kind of so hard bent on going in against TaToH, where he has a very good economy. Oh, that's so sneaky. Look at this. He's getting the outpost. He's actually getting a lot of eco moved towards the berries over here. So he's not going to invest into the fields at all. He knows he doesn't have the money to do so. And he's just spending every single bit of gold and wood and food to be making units, right? So he's just going to get those berries over there, just kind of get a lot more income from that, keep his food going, and just, I don't know how this game is going to go anymore, because Kasva is really hard stack in feudal, but he has way more army and way more eco. So 69 eco and 56 army to what TaToH has, which is basically half the supply almost right now. 47 eco and 30 army. That's nothing. The thing is, like, however, that those Mangonels are very hard to deal with. Like, I don't know how you can actually manage them properly. You just need lots of horses, right? That's basically the idea. You just need a lot of horsemen. And he's getting them, so maybe this is another, like, he's just gonna go for another push and another push afterwards. At some point, I think, like, TaToH is just gonna get starved to that, because he has way less economy than his opponent. And you have another engagement happening. Actually, the Mangonel is gonna go down probably to those horsemen. It's not gonna fire more than once. Yeah, that's very, very favorable. And what I would like to do, actually, if I were Kasva, I would just take those horsemen out, because you don't need to sacrifice them. This is basically your only way of dealing with the high-tech units. So if you have that possibility, just make use of it. We also see, actually, that's a very, very big deal, because 5 villagers over here. TaToH is not paying attention because he's microing over here, I guess. Those 5 villagers are gonna get killed because he's not even gonna use the outpost. So those 2 horsemen are actually doing a big, big job, doing Kasva a huge favor, because he's gonna extend his eco lead even further. So TaToH is going to lose this base, lose the whole over this base anyway. And you can see, like, TaToH was actually going for stone at some point. So he was probably considering or entertaining the notion of getting more TCs. But I'm not sure how well this holds, actually. You really need to save those horsemen, though. You cannot afford to lose them, because they're your only way of actually managing those mangos somehow. And honestly, if you have, like, way bigger eco and you can deny your enemy harvesting, that's very big as well. You see a huge wave of trash units actually just flooding throughout the map. Kasva has some idle villagers here, though, so you would probably like to have them moved over somewhere else. 11 idle villagers is not optimal, of course, like, you're not using them as well, so it's basically the same deal as those villagers being pulled off the fields. And oh, there is stun being mined here. If he notices that, it's gonna be huge as well. He sees, oh no, he sees it. Oh, good lord. TaToH is really getting screwed in this game, isn't he? Oh, please! No way! You don't, oh, come on! Kasva, wake up! Wake up! Oh no, they need to get used to this game even more, I think. Because this is almost unacceptable, I think. Like, what is he doing? He kills a wolf instead of killing the whole mining camp here. Oh no. He was just microing something else, I guess. Again, he was trying to macro up, or he was sending the villagers like across. I don't know what he's doing, but he's definitely and absolutely certainly not playing this properly at this point, right? He could have definitely gotten this, but this is a very tense moment, I guess, so that's why he's actually doing this. Question mark? I have no idea what these villagers are doing, so they're just standing idly over there. We have the army moving through towards the base of TaToH, I believe. And that's very nice. There are some horsemen, I think, aggressing over here, so he's going to make a lot of units move off the wood line. Again, denying a lot of the mining here. 150 population, by the way, for Kasva to 95 of TaToH, but this game is continuing, right? Kasva really just... I mean, I have to say, I'm questioning his choices right now. He should have definitely been into the next age so far. And this is such a risky position. I have no words for how risky this is, actually. Because, like, what do you do here? Like, if TaToH just discovers you, like, there's gonna be a lot of trouble for you. There's gonna be a lot of trouble here. We have, but the nice part, of course, is that the horsemen are harassing. Kaz is getting the golden age tier 2. But I don't know, I mean, like, what are you gonna do? Oh no, this is a terrible fight for Kasva, actually. So there was a lot of archers from TaToH, and that engagement did not go well. I was not paying attention to this part of that. I thought he was just kind of, you know, eyeing this army, honestly. But this was a large force that was basically dismantled. Kasva loses about like 20 supply in a blink of an eye. By the way, he's also harassing here, so it's not like there's nothing, no damage being done to the economy of TaToH, but TaToH is actually kind of recovering quite well. Again, like a large loss of cavalry units here. Those archers one-shotting the cav at this point. So those horsemen, like, they were effective before, but they're not getting to be effective at this point right now. So Kasva is probably regretting not having kind of saved up a little bit of money, because he does really need to get to that castle age. Because look at what he's dealing with. Like, he can do so much with knights, he can do so much with elite archers, but he's just not doing anything right now. Those are not the units that you're looking for, man. This is a large collapse, actually. We have a collapse from the south, from Kasva. He has a lot of horsemen, actually, over here. And those archers, they're just gonna commit onto the archers of TaToH. So that's a large army advantage in terms of numbers, but there's a mangonel at the back actually doing some damage here as well. So you really have to kind of take that into consideration. There's a mangonel shooting in the archers. That's... Oh my... No! He loses like 15 supply in a split second. It's so bad for Kasva. He didn't micro this fight properly as well. He had like a lot of units over here. He could have just sent them towards the mangonel. He didn't do this, and he loses probably the game with this. It looks very scary, honestly, because he had a very nice army advantage, but that mangonel with the... I think he has like some sort of reinforcement as well, which means he's really going to wreak havoc here. And those are really strong archers, though. Like, he's just... Yeah, that just kind of turns the game on its head, because TaToH was in a lot of trouble, like, I don't know, 50 seconds ago or a minute ago, but right now he's just kind of scrambling again. Like, again, we have those... he is trying, like, Kasva is really trying hard to go up to the next age. You can see how many farms he has. He's trying to get gold as well, mining, right? There's a lot of stuff that's happening for Kasva. This kind of is indicating that he's going to go for the next age very soon, but at this point it's not happening. Right? He has very good economy still. Like, we're sitting on 80 villagers to TaToH's 51, and TaToH has way less supply overall. But what is happening right now is that's the scary part. He's gonna cut the trees all the way here, and he's going to discover those 13 villagers. I think they're dead. Like, once they're discovered, they're just gonna be dead as hell. The nice part, of course, is that, you know, Kasva, he's gonna go to the next age right now. He's just going to click up, and he's gonna get the military wing. He stabilized the game. I think he's going to still be able to win this, because he has so much more eco than TaToH. Man, it's like 40 villager lead, 30 villager lead at this point. Which is surprising. TaToH on the other side of the map is actually going to eventually maybe get that next TC. Not really, huh? Not really at all. I'm surprised by the way that TaToH decided to not to go for the MAAs. Because TaToH has decent full economy and decent gold as well, so he could have just gone for those MAAs and just, you know, is he gonna do that now? No, he's just gonna go for spears. Very strange. Because MAAs just do a lot of good stuff. They are very good defensively against archers, because they basically make archers irrelevant, right? The the castle MAAs are just really tanky, so they will make a lot of units irrelevant. Oh, he can spot. Oh, he can take this mango. Take the mango. Oh my god, that's such a good pick. Because there's no way to defend this anymore. Those horsemen just going. They raided for villages. They're gonna take the mangonel out. That's super big, man. That's so nice. But yeah, getting horsemen, like getting MAAs would be huge, because they trade very well against pikes, they trade very well against horsemen, they trade very well against archers. They're just very tanky overall. They provide you with a lot of DPS, and they have a very nice defense, so they can stand in the front line for a longer time. And yeah, they would just massacre the army of Kasva, but Kasva is actually spreading his units thin. Thin right now. And he's also going to get like a decent amount of veteran upgrades coming in, right? So he has a lot of army, and he's just going to support his army with those veteran upgrades, and probably just go for the kill right now. That's basically the idea here. Kasva is going to age in about 20 seconds, I guess. And from there, he's gonna just get a large number of veteran upgrades. He's getting a lot of gold for that. And once those actual upgrades are online, like he's gonna have like lots of veteran horsemen and lots of veteran archers. So he really needs to just capitalize on that. He starts those upgrades immediately, by the way. So would be nice to have a camel or two, I guess, maybe to get the reinforced armor as well for the infantry. He's gonna get knights though. He's actually going for knights. So you see a lot of. Where is the veteran upgrade? Man, where is it? It's not happening, is it? No, he's getting that. He's getting the vet upgrade here. He's gonna get some tech as well, so he instantaneously starts the balanced projectiles upgrade. He's gonna get the veteran archers, and then he has such a better army. Here we have 5 knights with some pikes. We have a lot of archers. 36. We have 38 veteran archers for Kasva. He has 20 veteran horsemen. He has 6 hardened spearmen. Well, you don't want to lose the House of Wisdom, that's for sure, right? You really don't. You have to fight us right now. And I guess he's just waiting for the knights, right? He has a lot of gold. Right now he's queuing a lot of knights. Is he just gonna ditch this? I'm not really sure, because he repaired it a little bit. I guess he just kind of want to go as soon as possible. He just will use those knights to, you know, siege later on down the line. I'm surprised he didn't move those horsemen to the flank position. Instead, he kind of face tanks those pikes, which is obviously not great. But they eventually get on top of that mango. It's basically just GG. Man, Kasva is just gonna take this game after a really long and difficult match. The Abbasid will prevail, I think. There are knights streaming in for the Kasvas, for Kasva as well. So he's gonna get a lot of those very heavy cavalry units. He has so many archers left. They're just gonna dispose of the pikes. I would probably just rally knights away right now. Just kind of take the knights out, dispose of the pikes first, then use the knights to kill the archers, and that's just basically GG. I don't see any way for TaToH to recover from this. Maybe no, because Kasva has so much more eco. He has 93 villagers to kind of top of the fight victory against 59 of TaToH's. Actually, this is double supply almost right now, which is huge. And you can see actually those villagers are repairing the House of Wisdom. You really need to kill the low HP ram first, because this means that you can just save this building. It's way easier to repair against 1 than against 2, of course. So we get rid of those rams as well. We have those camel archers coming in as well to deal with the cavalry of the French. You have 4 knights. Man, this is a 37-minute age up to the freaking castle age. This has been a crazy game, man. This has been an absolutely crazy game. Complete madness. I think now they discovered each other, right? So you have like actually a mining camp going down, an outpost going down. And they're just going to be competing over this territory. There are so many towers actually that you can just juggle those villagers between the towers easily, and you'll be fine. There's also a knight coming down, so that's going to be quite a pain point. And again, we have a siege coming down. We have those 2 camel archers coming from those. He does have the upgrade, so they're just not that relevant at all. They have knights as well. You have so many knights actually from the Abbasid player, and they're just going to dispose of the archers very easily. You have more units coming down as well. And obviously the camels do have the aura, right? They have the camel unease, which gives all the surrounding cavalry a really nice bonus too. Oh, TaToH renders, guys. This is if you did subbing on YouTube, below what you think. And obviously like the stream, it's going to help me quite a bit. And this is it for me tonight. I think we finished every single cast we could have potentially done. It's been like a really long stream, man. It's been the longest stream I've done in a long time. So, yeah. TaToH falls, and Kasva takes this game down. It's impressive. And that's it, right? The series are over, because